Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by legalized.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at play-up props here on an 8-game Monday night slate to kick off this work week in the NBA. Go ahead and make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We're bringing you this video each and every weekday of this regular season, looking to stay wicked hot on these player props at about 70% or so over the last couple of weeks, remaining hot as we had started the season pretty well as well. Also want you to head to thelines.com. Nate throws all the picks on there each and every weekday. Also have our odds finder tool in all those articles. You can make sure you're shopping those NBA player props to the best of your ability, get the best juice back from all these sports books you might be using. Nate, let's go ahead and get into your first play-up prop for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, how do you attack this 76ers defense with speed? Jalen Green, one of the quickest, twitchiest athletes in the league today, and the youngsters at home tonight. So I like him to be scoring against the slower Sixers that have a 112 defensive rating on the road versus 108 at home. His prop is at 21.5 points, and you're not really getting much value on the points. You are getting a lot of value on 3 3-pointers made, plus 125. At DraftKings, and as a lot of young players have huge home road splits for Jalen this season, shooting 51, 41, and 83 at home versus 37, 29, 76 on the road, scoring 5 more points per game at home. Rockets' pace is a little faster at home. You look at his last 13 home games, including last season, he's hitting nearly 4 threes on 9 attempts, 41% clip. Scoring 28 points per game. So that's why it's minus 120 for him to get 22. But I don't hate that either. The Sixers, I mean, they've been good against point guards all season, and D'Anthony Melton is a good defender. Don't get me wrong. But recently, with all those injuries, I mean, they've definitely lapsed on the wing. And in their last 7 shooting guards, which they've been average against all season, they're allowing the 6th most points per game to shooting guards. Jalen has done really well against Eastern Conference teams, even at low efficiency. And that's the whole thing with this Rockets team. It doesn't matter how many shots he misses. He has the green light. He can take as many step back threes as he wants. And we're not betting on his percentage here, folks, just for him to hit 3 threes.
Yeah, I mean, a percentage, though, which has been good at home. I mean, he's close to putting it all together, man. He needs another season, I think. But by the end of this season, I think he'll even look like worlds better than he does right now. He's just so like big and rangy and athletic and skilled, especially around the rim, that he's going to continue to get better. That 3-point shooting, as you said, it's just way better at home over the last couple of seasons. As you know, well, he's only been in the league 2 seasons, so since he's been in the league, and I think this is a good opportunity for him to get those to 3 threes tonight. I mean, 76ers defense has been good, but there's some holes in it and some opportunities definitely to take advantage of it for Jalen. So I'm going to go. This is going to be a pretty big theme here: the Suns and Mavs, a matchup of 2 guys who don't like each other. The last 2 NBA 2K cover athletes, Luka Doncic and Booker, but I'm talking about Booker right now. Over 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's minus 113 on FanDuel. Look, he really doesn't like Luka. I mean, I don't think Luka loves him, but he's coming to play against the Mavs, and in his last 5, dude, he's been crushing 36.6 points per game, 5 boards, 5.5 boards, 6.5 assists. That's all in 34.5 minutes with a 37% usage rate, second only to Giannis over that time span for highest usage in the league. They played Dallas earlier this season. CP3 was in that game. They won by 2. Book had 28 points, 4 boards, and 9 assists in that one with CP3 in the game. Got you over that 41.5 PRA right there. But you look at 24 games without CP3 since last season, 30 points a game, 5 boards, 7 assists in 35.5 minutes, which are all higher than when CP3 is in there. I assure you. Also gets you to that 42 PRA just on his averages over the last couple seasons in these types of situations without Chris Paul. So I think you have to feel pretty good about him coming out strong tonight in a game that I think he really wants to win every single time that he plays Dallas and Luka, especially the way that they've handled them in the playoffs. So this is a great opportunity for Book to get to just be involved all over the place in the offense and continue to be the focal point.
Yeah, it was crazy to see minus 120 for him to get 30 points. And I wanted to take the under, and I looked at the game log and saw that he hasn't gotten 30 against Dallas in, I think, 7 straight meetings in the regular season. But Chris Paul played in all of those, didn't he? And I mean, without CP3, the numbers are huge. Not just the scoring, but the peripheral stats is a huge spike for Booker. That's why we like the whole PRA here, the whole package. But I think he definitely can get to 30 points. The only time recently he hasn't is because they blew doors off. What was it, the Magic or something in their last game that they had no problem with. So he didn't play a full slate of minutes. But when he's been out there, I mean, 50 points with like 5 missed field goals. He's just on fire right now. I'm going to take the over on Paolo Banchero. I guess I'm staying on my slight fade of the Bucks that hit hard on Friday. Anthony Davis, 44 points, and the Lakers won when they were plus 300 dogs. We had that. The Bucks now in their last 3 are giving up the most paint points in the league, 62 per game. They just gave up 20 plus to all of Kelly Oubre, Jalen McDaniels, and Terry Rozier. And Paolo Banchero is a lot more talented than all 3 of those guys offensively, like way, 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 way more talented. He has a lot in his bag. He's coming off a 9-point game at Toronto on a back-to-back where the whole Magic starting lineup was kind of just yanked when they weren't doing much. So he played 27 minutes. But other than that, he's been great. You look at his November numbers. He's coming back from that ankle issue. He 22.5 points, 6 rebounds in 8 games, playing 36 minutes per game. Again, with the young players, home road splits, 23 points, 7 rebounds at home, and a 30% usage rate versus 20 and 5.5 on the road. So points at 18.5, or it's 19.5 at FanDuel without much better juice. But I think you just go points rebounds here. You tack on 6 rebounds. It's a Bucks team that is not putting the ball in the basket that often. And a guy who's playing a lot of small forward, right? So he doesn't necessarily have to match up with Giannis that often. I mean, he can shift around. Bucks are allowing a healthy 23.5 points to small forwards in their last 7 games. That's 10th worst. So I don't think you're necessarily saying like Paolo's going to bring it against Giannis, but the fact that he's playing Giannis will certainly have his motivation factor up as a young player who wants to prove that he belongs on the stage.
Yeah, no, that adds. I'm always backing Paolo. Love that guy, and kind of said before the season, I don't know if it's going to pan out or not. Benny Matz is playing great. That he was the Rookie of the Year favorite. I mean, he's clearly the best rookie. He doesn't even look like a rookie at this point. I think it's an opportunity for him to make a statement for himself as well as a rookie. I mean, playing this team, the best defensive team in the league, but like you said, a little bit more vulnerable in that exact spot where you got a versatile guy like Paolo, who's definitely going to be quicker. Unless Giannis is guarding him, it's definitely going to be quicker than the person that's playing defense on him. So I'm going to finish things off. As I said, the theme here was that Dallas Mavs game, and if you're going to take one end of the rivalry, that is Devin Booker, then you got to take Luka on the other side, expecting him to play pretty well tonight as well. Probably feel pretty good about Dallas as home dogs in this one as well, to potentially be able to at least hang and make us think about. I'm sorry, they're favored as well tonight, so that line swung a bit as well. I don't care about the 3 points. I would still feel pretty good about a Mavs maybe victory there, but in this one for Luka, I'm looking at assists, I'm looking at threes, and to be honest with you, I'm going to try to get really bold here and say, if he gets under 2.5 threes tonight, that's even money. The assists over 8.5 is also even money. 2 things that I'm considering here. In his last 9, he has been averaging 9.2 assists. Just starting in that standpoint, he's only failed to get 9 in 2 of those games, including a couple games that he's playing against the Bucks, the Raptors, and the C's, a couple teams that limit assists pretty well. So getting double digits there against the Suns in general. He definitely tries to score, but he's definitely dimed up enough to get there as well, averaging about 7 or so in his last 5 versus them in terms of the assists. Needing a couple more, obviously, but the 3-point shooting has also improved tremendously for the Mavs in the last roughly 5 games or so. Guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., who were shooting around 29% for them from deep, has increased that to about 50% over his last 5. Reggie Bullock has improved from like 26% all the way back up to about 33% from 3. So you're seeing the positive regression from these Mavs shooters, which is the focal point of their offense, is give Luka the ball in space and then get to the 3-point line with at least 3 guys that can pull from deep. Christian Wood continues to struggle mightily over his last 5 or 6, so not sure how well that's working out after a really good start to the season for him on this squad. But with the assists there, it just seems like an opportunity for him. If you're the Suns, you definitely want to be getting the ball out of his hands at this point. If you're looking at the 3-point shooting for him, his teammates, obviously that increases his likelihood to get those assists. The 3-point shooting, he's been fine. I mean, he's been putting up threes definitely, but he's only made more than two in 2 of his last 6 games, missing at the rate, shooting at the rate of about 29% from 3 in that time. He's not even putting up that many attempts. He's only put up more than 5 attempts 3 times in that span as well. So if you want to consider that, he's not shooting the 3 ball quite as much or quite as well necessarily in the last handful of games, this could be an opportunity with a really, really good Suns defense to limit him to less than 3 at even money. But I prefer the assist in this situation either way.
Yeah, I mean, I can't hate on any over when it comes to Luka. I would definitely want to combine those adjustments, and the Suns have done a great job. You said getting the ball off his hands, but also forcing him into turnovers with I believe it's 20 turnovers in his last 4 regular season against them. Yeah. His line is set at 4.5 turnovers tonight with plus 120 on the over. I'm not taking that, but the 32.5 points, or you can go 40.5 points and assists. I think that kind of covers you because he's a guy who would not be surprised if he gets 35. He's basically averaging 35 at home. And as you mentioned,
yeah, no, I think that's a better play. I saw the assist at even money and felt good about it. But if you want to feel a little bit safer, yeah, the points added to it will always, and like you said, he can always make his in-game adjustments. Should I continue, and really in-play adjustments in terms of being shooting or passing, that's really just completely up to him at this point. He's the floor general. So that is all the time we have for you in this one, though. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We're coming back to you each and every weekday this regular season. So until we see you next, happy betting.